විපක්ෂ නායකතුමනි, ලෝ ඒෂියා සංවිධානයේ සභාපති ශාම් ඩිවාන් මැතිතුමනි, ඉන්දීය නීතිඥ සංගමේ සභාපති ප්‍රශාන්ත් කුමාර් මැතිතුමනි, පොදුරාජ මණ්ඩලීය නීතිඥ සංගමේ හිටපු සභාපති සන්තන් ක්‍රිස්ටන් මැතිතුමනි, උගත් ජනාධිපති නීතිඥවරුනි, මන්ත්‍රීවරුනි, සහෝදර නීතිඥවරුනි, නීතිඥවරියනි. Honorable the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Sajid Premadasa, the President of Law Asia, Mr. Shyam Diwan, Mr. Prashant Kumar, the President of the Bar Association of India, who was also a former President of Law Asia, and Mr. Santanan Krishnan, former President of Commonwealth Lawyers Association. Dear colleagues, senior lawyers, President's Councils, and members of Parliament, brothers and sisters in law. The time has come for us to change the system. Everyone is craving for a system change. It is the legal fraternity that has the responsibility cast upon them to make this change and then present it to those who are able to make that change for the future generations of this country. Not so far away, we saw hundreds of thousands of youth, some young and some old, ladies and gentlemen, were parading on the road for a system change. We don't see the queues for fuel or food or gas or essential items today. But have we had a system change? I don't think so. We have to change the falsehood, the facade that is going on to cheat our people of this country. It is with that intention that we have drafted, we are concerned with many of these senior lawyers who are in this gathering, and we have had many brainstorming sessions and then drafted these proposals and then presented today with the Leader of the Opposition. Also, we have had discussions with him on certain matters, and we have also got him to agree to them in drafting these finalized proposals. It has altogether 116 proposals, but this is not an exhaustive list. It can be more, but not less. I do not intend reading the entire thing to you, but there are some interesting parts which I intend to bring to your notice. Firstly, we all interact from time to time with the Attorney General's Department. We do not want an Attorney General who is partisan. We do not want an Attorney General who is a mouthpiece of the government. We do not need an Attorney General who gives a certificate to the online media bill as a clean certificate and then come to court and then move for 37 amendments. I'm sorry to say this. Some of these gentlemen are my dear friends. There is no reflection on them. But we have a duty upon us. If you don't discharge that duty, we'll be cursed by the current and the future generations. There should be an independent office of public prosecutor that should be set up. There should be independent office of public defender also that should be set up, and they should be regionally located, and they should be free from pressure from any quarter. The Attorney General and the Public Prosecutor and the Defender shall be appointed by the President on the recommendation of the Constitutional Council. And that Constitutional Council should be truly independent. And we don't need politicians to overshadow the civil society men in the Constitutional Council, as it has happened now. We are also proposing that in the Attorney General's Department, after the recruitment of the state councils, at every level, beyond that, it should be open for private lawyers also to be considered for appointment as senior state counsels or deputy solicitor generals or additional solicitor generals on par with those who are in service. But there should be better consideration given to those from the department itself. Then we have had enough instances of corruption cases. We have filed indictments. Case is called today, the next date of trial will be in September, October, November. What's the purpose of this? We are proposing, firstly, be it the Bribery Commission or the CID, all complaints must be inquired into within 3 months of such complaint being made. Bribery Commission had received a complaint that was made by Sujiva Sena Singh on the purchase of Greek bonds in 2011. Up to this date, 13 years later, they are still investigating that. There should be a commission appointed to look into the corruption of the Bribery Commission. It cannot happen. It should happen only within 3 months. If it cannot be completed within 3 months, there should be another 1 month that can be obtained with an application to the magistrate after he is convinced. And then likewise, you can obtain another 2 more days, another 3 months maximum. And the indictment shall be presented in court altogether within 1 year from the complaint. And these corruption complaints, if they are concerned with any corruption, anything more than 5 million rupees, such indictment should be taken up for trial before a trial at bar, and it should be a day-to-day trial. Trial at bar and a day-to-day trial. We do not want to have a situation where an indictment is forwarded and to proceed with the case for another 10 years, as it happens now. To give a more and better opportunity for a younger generation of our legal fraternity, no date should be granted other than the lawyer falling ill. If so, the junior lawyers can represent the client. Then we also have a situation where these commissions, the people who are appointed to these commissions, we have made certain recommendations to make sure that they are of high caliber. We also have proposed all cases that were withdrawn. We as lawyers, we are aware that more than 43 cases were withdrawn for the simple reason that the 3 commissioners have not signed the mandate, the warrant. All those cases, we'll have to ensure that the indictment will be refiled and the trials to begin with immediately within the first 3 months of a government being formed. Of course, the Bribery Commission should be given all the necessary support, the necessary budgets, all the new equipment, the staff, inquiring officers, all that should be given, and also experts in different areas. They can draw them from different professional associations. Then, when it comes to the presidency, the president, any person will be entitled, no person will be entitled to contest presidency other than if you are a member of parliament or a past member of parliament, and he shall be able to contest only for 3 times, no more. The president downwards, the public officers, ministers, army officers, everyone should have only one vehicle, one official vehicle, and if that vehicle breaks down, another vehicle can be obtained from the pool. Security guards, except for the President and the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister, of course, only one security guard will be allocated, and if he wants more security guards, he shall pay for it. No more free entourage to chaperone the ministers or so-called VIPs. There will be no VIPs. There shall be no pensions, President downwards, to members of Parliament or any other members of Parliament, or they shall not be entitled to get motor car licenses, no free lunches, etc. If any minister has to embark on foreign tours, he can, if it is absolutely necessary, he can embark upon a foreign tour, but the budget should be presented, and the achievement as to what he has achieved in such foreign tour must be tabled before the Parliament each time, every 3 months from every ministry. No personnel, no family members can be employed as a personal staff of a minister or any public official or a politician. Any crossovers, we should amend the constitution for such crossover MP to lose his seat simultaneously with the crossover, so that there will not be MP buying to go on, so that's another form of corruption. Political parties offering bribes to political parties and their members. There will be no members of Parliament to be appointed to oversee or coordinate ministries. We had a situation some time back. One time, a person called Duminda Silva was appointed as a coordinating MP to the Ministry of Defence, and later he was convicted of 5 deaths that was caused by him and few others, and he is now in jail. He was convicted of murder. All ministries should have a panel of experts for recommendations to be made for any changes in law, because it should be a constant effort by such expert panels to consider which are the areas that we have to amend for yielding better results and to move forward. Then comes to something interesting. There was this recent judgment that was delivered by the Supreme Court on 9 persons, 8 persons and an institution, the Monetary Board. The 8 persons are the former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, one-time President Mahinda Rajapaksa, then his other brother Basil Rajapaksa, Niwad Cabral, then Dr. Jayasuriya, S.R. Artigala, W.D. Lakshman, Samantha Kumarasinghe, and the Monetary Board. The Supreme Court has held in its judgment, which is numbered SCFR 195/2022, in page 73, it has been, and 74 and 75. It says like this, I'll read the single version. 195 ඇලේරා 2022 නඩු තීන්දුවේ 73 වන පිටුව සහ 74 75 පිටුවල දක්වන ආකාරයට ඇමරිකානු ඩොලර් මිලියන 7780ක විදේශ විනිමය සංචිත ක්‍රමිකව අඩු වී ඇති අතර එම සංචිත නිසි ආකාරව පවත්වාගෙන යාමට සාධාරණ පියවර ගෙන නොමැත. එම නොකර හැරීම රටේ ආර්ථිකය බිඳ වැටීමට ඉතා දැඩිව බලපා ඇති අතර පෙර කී නඩු තීන්දුවේ 76 වන පිටුවේ එසේ සඳහන් වේ. එබැවින් ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයේ අංක 195 ඇලෙරියක් 22 දරන තීන්දුව ප්‍රකාරව මයිහතගේ පුද්ගලයන්ට විරුද්ධව ඊට අමතරව තව දෙයක් එහි සඳහන් වෙනවා. එම නඩු තීන්දුවේ එම පිටුවල සඳහන් වෙනවා. මේ පුද්ගලයන් විසින් රාජ්‍ය භාණ්ඩාගාරයට අය විය යුතුව තිබූ මිලියන 49300ක මුදලක් අහිමි කරලා තියෙන බවට ඔවුන් ඒ පිළිබඳ වගකීම බාරගත යුතු බවට ගරු ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය විසින් විනිශ්චයකාරවරුන් 4 දෙනෙක් විසින් තීන්දුව කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ තීන්දුව යටතේ එම මුදල මේ අයගෙන් අය කර ගැනීමට කටයුතු කළ යුතු බවට අපි යෝජනා කරනවා. නීතියක් පැනවීම තුළින් එම නීතිය අතීතයට බලපාන ලෙසින් පැනවිය යුතු බවට යෝජනා කරන ගරු විපක්ෂ නායකතුමනි. We are proposing in this August Assembly that the law be passed to surcharge those who are responsible has been held by the Supreme Court by 4 judges for having deprived the coffers of the treasury to the extent of 493 billion, and as has been held by the Supreme Court. And there shall be a law passed with retrospective effect to surcharge those people who are responsible for this carnage that made the entire citizenry of this country go on with a begging bowl. And today we have a situation, as you saw depicted in the video presentation, in some songs, the people, there are more than 700,000 people whose electricity is disconnected. 2/3 out of the entire population, those who are having meals, if they are having 3 meals, they are having 2 meals. 2/3 of the population. If they are having 2 meals, they are having 1 meal. Due to these autocratic steps and action that have been taken in an most arrogant manner by those who have been now held responsible by the Supreme Court. So they shall pay for it, and we are moving that there should be legislation to be drafted and moved with retrospective effect. Then it goes on to say, all persons, now we have had situations where we find all kinds of fundamental rights applications have been filed. Recently there was a case where 5 police officers and a senior superintendent of police was held to have committed torture in a heinous manner on a person, and they were all ordered to pay 500,000 rupees each. We hear this very often. There was a second judgment also that was released about 2 weeks ago. There again the Supreme Court held that those police officers have to pay 500,000 rupees each to the person so tortured. But this is not enough. Be it the president, be it the prime minister, be it a minister, be it a public servant, they shall cease to hold office if they are faulted by the Supreme Court for having violated the fundamental rights of the people. We have had enough of this. We find that such people who are faulted by the Supreme Court are even given promotions and more power. We have come to the last lap. No more shall we be able to tolerate such comedy of errors. You can't call them errors because these are intentional acts. One other thing with talking about the vehicles, I forgot to mention that was that we are proposing that all government vehicles should bear the government emblem. All government vehicles should bear the government emblem. This was there during the time of Mr. Premadasa's time. But what happened was at that time, because the JVP started burning such vehicles, Therefore, the President Premadasa, by circular, he had to stop the depiction of such government emblem on government vehicles. Then we come to the audited accounts. I'm just skipping many and then just giving some snapshots of different proposals. Then, as far as audited accounts are concerned, we find that so many public institutions delay, sometimes 2 to 3 years in presenting their accounts. If they cannot present their accounts as legally required and stipulated, they shall cease to hold office. That's the chairman, the board of directors, and the finance manager. There's no purpose. Because these accounts have to be tabled before the parliament. Parliament has to go through it and ratify them. At least for information it was tabled. If it doesn't happen, then they are unable to perform their duties, then they must go. In the same vein, there's one other thing that I have to draw your attention, that is, if all the declarations of assets that have been filed by the public officers, including the members of parliament and the Prime Minister and the President, all should file their assets declaration before and after the election, and every year they must file that declaration, and if they fail to file that declaration, they shall cease to office, and such declaration should be accessible online by the people of this country. Now we also find situations where many instances, sometimes the father, brother, the third brother, and the cousin brother, his children, and the cousin brother's children, entire bandwagon of relatives entering parliament. Within one family, if one member is in the parliament, we are proposing that there should be a law passed until that person relinquishes office and there is a cooling off period. No other second member can enter parliament or hold political office with a cooling off period. When I say that, I must also say something more with regard to the leader of the opposition. His father was also president. But during his lifetime, his son never entered politics. Mr. Sajith Premadasa never entered politics during his lifetime. He entered politics after his father passed away. And there again, he did not want to take the father's legacy by contesting the elections in the Colombo district, but he went to down south, far down to Tissa Maharama, Hambantota. So we have to develop this culture of transparency and the family bandism. Then we have a system where all the members of parliament, they fall on top of each other and they get liquor licenses, petrol sheds. These are the perks that fall by the wayside. No parliament member shall be entitled, or his family member shall be entitled to have such liquor licenses or petrol shed licenses. And these licenses should be given on a tender call on a transparent basis by the government agent of the relevant area annually, so that this comedy has to come to an end. We have also proposed a fair amount of proposals with regard to the judiciary, including I think Sham made a reference with regard to that he was happy, we'll all be happy that all the judges of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court will be entitled after retirement to draw the last drawn salary and the perks and the privileges until their death. This is in order to maintain their independence. If they are not economically independent, they will not be otherwise independent in their judgment. So we have to make sure that, I'm not casting any aspersions on any of the judges who have been there on the bench, no. But there are so many judges who find it so difficult to live after their retirement. So we have to maintain that they get their same benefits and the privileges and everything, as they did when they were in office, because this is in contrast to the American situation where they can go on till they die on the bench. But here we can't do that. So having brought this, there is one more thing that Shyam said that we must be doing. Yes, there is a proposal for this, that such judges shall not be able to be appointed to anything, any position, government, in the government sector or even the private sector. Any position in the government sector or in the private sector other than those that are required to be appointed by statute. Other than those that are required to be appointed, as far as any retired judge is concerned, other than those instances, we are proposing that they should not hold any other office other than as they are entitled for the retirement benefit, the same perks as they were enjoying when they were in office. So these are a gist of the proposal, a cross-section that we will be proposing in a while to the Leader of the Opposition. I hope he will respond to it. May I now call upon these proposals to be brought to the stage, please.
Gentlemen, it is with a great honor and appreciation that I invite Attorney at Law, President's Counsel, Upul Jayasuriya, to present the legal framework for system change, symbolizing the beginning of a transformative journey towards a brighter future for Sri Lankans. And I also invite Honorable Leader of the Opposition to this stage to accept this legal framework prepared by the Samagi Lawyers Federation in consultation with Honorable Premadasa. Thank you, Honorable Sajid Premadasa, and thank you to Attorney at Law, President's Counsel, Upul Jayasuriya.